I really do like these guys. I like that they're just dinosaurs.
Hell yeah. Oh my.
She's into us, bro.
Yeah, luck. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What's a derby?
Hell yeah. I mean, we've been blowing up everybody else during every race anyway,
That's
so...
true. Maybe they're going to start trying to do that to us also, though.
Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Nah, no one would ever attack Ty. If you accidentally killed him in a demolition derby, you would doom all of Australia.
Speaking of doom...
It's fate, bro. We had the same thought.
God!
Because we share a single brain cell. It's definitely the fate thing.
God, I am curious. Like, if you and I took some sort of like, you know, on cartoons, they always have that episode where the two best friends go on a game show where it's like, how well do you know your best friend? And they all fucking suck at it.
Yeah.
I am curious how well you and I would do on something like that.
So, do you know how? Because you're right. When they do the friend thing, like they're always like, maybe we're not even friends at all. Actually,
maybe I fucking hate you.
But the one I feel like would actually be more like us is when they do that on like TV shows and it's a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Oh,
and the
yeah.
boyfriend knows everything about their boyfriend and the boyfriend doesn't know shit about their girlfriend.
Yeah.
I just got a really bad feeling.
Like one of us.
That you would dominate and get all the Eric questions, no problem. And it'd be like, what's Sacred's favorite color? I'd be like,
It is crazy because like you and I agree on basically everything. I mean, obviously within reason, but like you and I generally have the same like view and taste of things. Like music, I would say you and I have very similar tastes in music. But like I was watching you and Ian playing through Pizza Tower a little while ago. By the way, go watch Pizza Tower. It's great. I was watching that, and you said, and granted, maybe Ian was exaggerating here, but he said that you thought gorillas are bad, poopy, stinky garbage for babies, and you even went as far as to say that the man behind gorillas was not very good at what he does. And that's crazy, because Gorillaz, top 5 favorite bands of all time for me.
Oh, I know. We've had that conversation before.
But that's just wild to me.
I'm pretty sure you're blocking it out because, no, I don't care for the Gorillaz. I would not actually go so far, like, in a legitimate conversation as to say that, like, he's completely talentless. I don't think he's, like, exceptionally good.
Right. I mean, you made that obvious. But like, that's one of the things. Like, you and I have, like, the same opinion on music 99% of the time. But on one of my favorite bands of all time, you're like, yeah, no, they suck.
Yeah.
That guy is not very good.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I think he's one of the best to ever fucking lace up a guitar. And you're over here just like, yeah, no, I could definitely outplay him.
Well, that is not what I said. In fact, I specifically said not that.
Well, no, that's what I'm putting in your mouth, so.
When Ian tried to pull the beginnings of the, like you could do better, and it's like, that's not the topic at hand. Is can Eric do better than insert X artist here?
Right.
Irrelevant to if that person is any good or not.
Right. It's just, does Eric like this guy?
But yeah, no, we definitely do agree on a lot of stuff. At least like musically, for sure.
Right. We have very similar tastes.
I'm trying to think of like other examples of.
Fuck.
I don't know of any other bands right offhand because like there's definitely bands that one of us like enjoys that the other person doesn't enjoy as much.
Right.
But I can't think of anything else where it's like, oh no, that's one of my absolute favorites. Oh no, I don't like them at all.
Right. I don't want Frosty. Give me something else. I only got a minute. I could be fucking around. Give me like an Ultra or something. Come on.
I'd say they're almost caught up to you now, so.
I might as well just wait for them. Because a Zappy should do it. They're both low enough health.
Oh, one of them just died.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm coming for that motherfucker.
Oh, he's almost here. Bam!
Huzzah!
Hell yeah. Fuck you, Ken.
Get out of here.
You're dead.
He wasn't even in the running.
Not even close.
Oh man, they're fucking full naming him.
How cruel.
Would you laugh at someone just for being named Belvedere?
Depends on who the someone is. Some random person, probably not. You? Yeah. If you just, like, your fucking driver's license fell out of your wallet one day and it's just like, oh, yeah, it's actually Belvedere Sacred Face VA.
God, what the fuck? I don't know. Is that like the worst name, Belvedere? No shade to anybody named Belvedere, but like,
no,
I don't have the strength for it.
I don't think it's that bad of a name. It's like I would rate it. Maybe we shouldn't have this conversation.
Well, no, because like
this seems like a conversation that can inadvertently randomly offend
someone named Belvedere.
Well,
I think I'll take those fucking chances.
No, because I kind of was setting it up to go into like a deeper name conversation, and you can't really discuss names without insulting people's names unless you only talk about ones that are like really good. What's the best name and why is it Kyle?
I don't know, Kyle. I was just fucking born that way.
Same Kyle. Some Kyles are just lucky, I guess.
How do I get to that shit over there?
Of all the members of On the Shelf Gaming, who has the best first name, and why is it Brandon?
Best say it ain't me. I don't know. I would say Eric has a nice ring to it.
You think so?
I think so.
I appreciate that, bro. I find Eric to be a pretty like mid to maybe like slightly negative name overall.
Well, I mean
Not in like that it's bad, just that it's very bland.
I mean, and that's fair, and that that is your right. But it's the league's better than my name, if you ask me.
Well, I would agree with you.
I fucking hate my name. I always have.
There's a reason why even on the fucking on the fucking On the Shelf Gaming. Well, it's not the description page anymore because it's like just a box on the homepage or something now.
Right.
But we're Eric Anutsu parentheses, and Crandon Abeki in parentheses, and Sacred Josh in parentheses.
Right. Like, you know what to call me first.
Yeah, for sure.
God, well, and it's so weird too because like Mike, the fucking Goblin, I'm about to call him his first name. Fucking, he has always known me as Josh. Right. And so that's what he calls me. And my wife doesn't exactly spring to call me Sacred, believe it or not.
So which is so unfortunate because that would be hilarious.
It would be very funny.
Not to mention and make it a lot easier someday when you guys tie the knot in an official ceremony when I do my best man speech. I have to Control F. Replace Sacred with Josh.
I was always wondering. I am always thinking about that. Like, man, I don't think Eric has called me Josh.
Literally ever?
Yeah, at least in the past, like, 5 fucking years.
Oh, for sure. The only time I have literally called you that before, only...
It's like, fuck with me. It's never to be like, get my attention, like, hey, Josh, over here. No, it's always be like, hey, Josh! Yeah. How you doing, Josh?
Yeah. And that got old a long time ago. Right.
So it's just like, goddamn, how are you going to survive your best man speech?
I don't know.
Part of me is worried that you're going to, like, refuse to be my best man just so you don't have to give a speech where you call me by my name.
No, I wouldn't do that. I've thought a whole bunch of times, and I haven't written anything down because it's like, who knows what could happen in the meantime.
Right.
That would make it even better. But I really want to just fill it with references that no one will get. But not in the way that the internet does references, where if you don't get it, it's horrible.
Right.
It's like, why the fuck is it even there?
Right.
I want it to make sense.
Right.
And be filled with references. And a couple of the references that I think I'm going to use in the final version of whatever this speech ends up being, I already know what are.
I'm pumped.
After your wedding, I'll have to redo the best man speech, but Control F replace Josh with Sig and upload it to On the Shelf Gaming. So that people can listen and be like, oh, I get that reference.
I was there for that.
I don't get that reference. I don't know how, but the one reference I know I have to put in there that will never... There's no way to get it in there, but it has to go in there, is the Black Baron.
Dude, I feel so ashamed. I forgot the context of the Black Baron. I remember that was one of our earliest jokes, but I forget everything that has to do with it. I forget the setup. I forget the punchline other than the Black Baron.
Yeah. The only thing I remember is that I was the Black Baron.
Yes, I recall that as well.
That's as much as I can get, and you hated it. Those are the two things I remember about the Black Baron. That's why it has to be in there somewhere. Also, I really want to work in... Wait, maybe I shouldn't say that, because that's our password for fucking gaming.
Well, we already said it in a past episode of Ty, remember?
No, I don't, but fuck it, if we did, we ball. I really want to somehow work in the phrase "sacred sucks," but it's like, again, how are you going to put that in a best man speech?
You'll figure it out, bro. I believe in you. That's why you're the man for the job.
One sentence with something is sacred. Next sentence starts with sucks though.
God, it's a good thing my parents are good.
The bond of brotherhood is sacred. Sucks, though, that he's getting married and I'm being replaced.
It's a good thing my parents are good sports.
Yeah.
Why
do you say that?
I don't know. I just can't imagine that fucking everybody might be thrilled with that kind of best man speech. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll love it.
I was about to say, here's the thing. First of all, there's only one person that I give... two people I give a shit about.
I was about to say, correct yourself.
I want one person to not hate it, and I want one person to love it.
Right.
And as long as you love it and Elizabeth doesn't hate it...
We're sold.
Huge success.
Right.
If everybody else at your wedding...
Oh, fuck.
That's not what I expected to happen.
I thought it was a little too red, but I wasn't sure.
If everybody else at your wedding fucking hates it, well, so be it.
It'll be a small crowd, so...
Sometimes in life, that's just how things go. I don't see it. Then why did I bring a bazooka?
These guys are so not up with the program. Just because we're now committing terrorism with Boss Cass. Tee-hee!
Isn't he supposed to be our fucking general?
Yeah.
How did he not know the plan?
And he's a frog. Why am I down here?
Also true. But have you considered that he isn't Ty?
That's true. He can't handle it. Oh, what the shitballs?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Gurgle, gurgle! Ah!
Man, you got Mass Effect 3 DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
God, the Mass Effect deals, the Mass Effect 3 DLCs are just such a mixed bag.
Kind of like the game itself, which I love Mass Effect 3.
I love Mass Effect 3.
It's got so much good stuff, but it's definitely got a bunch of really weird stuff. And I say that as someone who does not think the ending is like absolutely atrocious. I think it's unfortunate that it wasn't, like everything everybody hoped for, but everything everybody hoped for was never even possible.
Right.
Not even close to possible. Like, there's a reason it ended up the way it did. And I mean, granted, part of that, it's kind of the same thing as like with No Man's Sky, where they promised and promised and promised and then couldn't deliver.
Right.
And granted, by the time I played Mass Effect at all, 3 had already been released. So like I wasn't there for the hype, but retroactively, I've seen where BioWare promised stuff that they probably should have known.
Right.
They weren't going to be able to deliver, at least not fully as described. We don't know what it is. Throws it back in the water.
Blow it up, Ty!
Wait, actually, I'll do it.
We're bros to Cass.
The Core, everyone's favorite wrestling stable.
I miss the Nexus. I've always been a huge Wade Barrett fan. Like, when the Nexus died, God rest its soul, I was like, fucking fine, whatever. When the Core happened, I was like, I wish Wade Barrett actually died in that burial.
Jesus, man.
Anything would have been more dignified. But then he turned it back. I mean, he didn't turn it back because then he did nothing. And then he joined the League of Nations. But then he became Bad News Barrett, and that was great.
And then he left?
Yes, he's no longer... Well, he's a commentator now.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he's on SmackDown.
Interesting.
Either that or he's just...
SmackDown in like 10,000 years.
Yeah. Raw's on Netflix now.
It is.
Everything's on Netflix if you're not in America.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fucking horseshit. In America, we get Raw with ads streaming on Netflix.
With ads?
With ads like every 2 fucking minutes, it feels like.
Jesus Christ. Maybe I don't want to watch wrestling with you again. Maybe wrestling was a mistake.
Well, because
anime.
Well, because here's how it gets worse. So, like, there's that fucking situation. NXT is still stuck on CW. SmackDown is still on USA, and pay-per-views are still exclusive to Peacock. So, if you want to consume all WWE, you need Netflix, Peacock, and a cable subscription with both USA and CW.
Right.
If you're in anywhere else, you get literally everything on Netflix, no ads.
Remember...
Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pay-per-views, all there, no ads.
That's crazy. Remember the WWE Network? And how it was going to save the world?
Yeah.
And then they ruined it, and then they ruined it again, and now it doesn't exist at all?
Yeah, it sure doesn't. God. It's just...
And I get it. Like, I'm sure Netflix is paying them a shit ton of money.
Right.
Where if you put Raw, because people were like, they should just put Raw and SmackDown on WWE Network. I get it. You risk losing your company doing something like that. But they kind of risk that by putting all the pay-per-views on there and only charging $10 a month.
Right.
Like, honestly, there really should have been like a tiered subscription. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, I didn't want that because I loved paying $10 and getting the pay-per-views when the pay-per-views were like $50.
But I would have understood.
Right. And you don't even have to, because like part of the thing that they were thinking was if we charge less money, we'll make more money overall. Now, it didn't end up working out that way. At least as far as I gather, based on what people have said. But I get the logic. It's like you provide all this content, and if you can get... if you're charging 1/5 the price, get 5 times as many people to subscribe, and you break even, get 10 times as many, and you double your money.
Right.
Like, and obviously, it's not quite that simple because you need a lot more infrastructure for a streaming service that also hosts your pay-per-views than you do for just your pay-per-views. But the logic is there.
Right.
But at some point in there, it did run into the issue of they probably should have been like, hey, pay-per-views are going to a slightly more expensive version of the network. Now it's going to be $15 if you want the pay-per-views, or maybe even $20 if you want pay-per-views.
Right.
But the regular network, everything else on here is still available.
Right.
For the $9.99.
And you can even have those pay-per-views a month later.
True.
Like, I'll take that. If I want live, I'll pay $10 more.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't care about waiting a month, $10. That sounds like a good deal to me.
Well, and they did that with episodes of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, they went on like a month, like a week or two later, didn't they?
I think it was, I forget exactly. I want to say it was 1 month. It may have been a little longer than that. Because there was an exclusivity period that was long enough to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that. At the time, I was like in the internet wrestling scene or whatever you want to call it. Like, I followed wrestling online, where if I hadn't done that, like I don't now, who gives a fuck if it's delayed by a month?
Right.
Hooray! It's time for the February Royal Rumble that I don't know the results of.
Yeah.
So it's a brand new fucking pay-per-view. Because that is one thing. Like, don't get me wrong, but great old pay-per-views are still great to watch. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
As if it's live. And part of it, the biggest part of it is when you know the result already. Because it's like we watched that Pride whatever tournament.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not wrestling because it's Pride.
Yeah.
It's
so better than wrestling.
But like we watched that tournament. That tournament happened 20 years ago or something.
Right.
So like none of that's live. We're not actually in it. Nothing is gonna change. But we didn't know any of the results.
Right.
And is it a little bit worse because it's 20 years old and not happening now? Sure, maybe just a little bit. But if I had known the results of the tournament beforehand, I don't think I'd have even bothered to watch it.
Right.
Unless someone was just like, oh, this fight specifically
is real good.
Because there have been fights that I knew the results before I saw them. But people were like, oh no, this fight is just really good though.
Right.
And so I watched it. Like most Anderson Silva fights that I did.
Yeah, that's a good example. Silva really is one of the best to ever fucking do it. Because like all of his fights have that effect for me.
Thing is, he's got some terrible fights too.
He does.
But the thing is, they're not terrible fights in the way, I mean, maybe some of his later career fights are, I don't know. But when he was prime Anderson Silva, none of his fights were ever bad, like, oh, you know, it's just fucking boring because they're boring. It's boring because he's fucking around.
Right.
Because this guy doesn't stand a fucking chance.
Right.
And, like, that can be fun.
In doses.
Yeah. Because it's like, you know I love the Silva Griffin fight.
I know you do.
And that's a terrible fight.
It's a horrible fight, especially if your name is Forrest Griffin.
Yeah. And it sucks, too, because I fucking love Forrest Griffin.
Oh, he's great.
I mean, as a fighter, at least, I don't know. He seems like a good guy in as far as, like, hanging out good.
Right.
I've read his book, and I question some of his, like, moral opinions just a little bit, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
The point is, Anderson Silva whooped up on him and made him look like a baby.
And then he ran out like a baby.
He did. But can you blame him? He made him look like an actual child. He was a UFC champion.
Not in Silva's eyes, he wasn't.
No.
He didn't beat Silva for the fucking belt.
No, he didn't.
I can't get up there, game.
I see
Hey,
that.
game, I can't get up there.
That's the fucking problem, bro.
I can't get up there. I'm disliking these levels.
Do you think this is the part where we realize why so many people are like, oh yeah, Ty 3, that's the bad one?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because this shit where we don't know where the fuck to go, tiny bit makes me think, do we not have a power that makes us, like, do something better?
No, all of our old powers have been replaced. I assume these are like the better upgraded versions, so they should be doing the same thing, but I don't know, bro. I can't fucking get up there. And this is the only one of these things I've been able to find. Everything else has been like way turned around.
Yeah.
And what the fuck are these?
It's a door, bro, to lock you out of the place you don't need to be. Just orbital strike it.
I can't go any higher than this off the fucking ground. So unless it just works if I just stand here.
That's it. A
No.
little closer. No.
Now it's going like through the fucking wall behind it.
Yeah.
Whatever, we'll come back to that.
I hate you. Not you. You're great, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Man, I've been off the show too long. Anyway, next time on Shelf Gaming.